Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope everyone is doing well. Had a good week. Looking forward to the weekend. We are listening to the Human Design Energy Report today. Card, let's see. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Well, that's okay. 7 of Pentacles is preparedness. So what are you not prepared for? Yesterday we had the spontaneous card. So maybe something unexpected coming in for you this weekend, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. The daily energy report. Christine Strong, listen to her. Gate 22, line 3. So she called it the martyr line. So it was earlier today and I watched it and couldn't really tell you everything she said about it. But when I think of martyr, I think of that person who sacrifices themselves for the greater good, right? A lot of people will talk about martyr syndrome, right? They think of themselves as the savior or as being put up on the cross, much like Jesus. But I digress. Anyway, maybe we'll look that up at the end. But be careful, you guys, that you're not giving so much that you turn it into resentment. If you want to say no, say no. Don't say yes. I think that's a lot of times where we start to feel like a martyr. Be mindful of your energy. Be aware of only giving your excess, right? Fill your cup first and then let it spill over. If you're still filling your cup and you don't have the energy to expend on another person, then pull back. That's okay, right? It's okay. Anyway, Stella is trying to make an appearance here. Sorry, Stella, you got to go lay down. Thank you, puppy. All right, let's get the current energies for today. Current energies for today. Current energies for today, please. Current energies for today. Oh, there it is. It flipped, but it didn't fall. Ace of Swords. So swords are your words and your thoughts. So this is a new way of thinking. It could be a new idea. It could be, I guess if we talk about that spontaneous energy, something new coming in, then one could see the Ace of Swords in that. It's, see how the rope is laying over it, but it's not restricting it, right? And that rope goes a long way, It's a very long, it almost looks to me like an etheric cord. And look at this. Look at the faces in the barrel. I never noticed that before. Almost looks like an owl in there, doesn't it? Crazy. What would an owl represent, guys? An owl would be listening. Listening more, talking less. And it's able to turn its head 360 degrees. And in a full circle, right? So, and then there is, what is that? Barnacles, I guess. And it looks like the whole boat is underwater because look, with the barnacles and everything, and the algae growing, this ship has sunk already. So, a sunken ship. Think about what that is. What ship have you sunk in your life? Is there a way of thinking or a person or not a person because it's an ace, but it is a new beginning. So there's this saying about sunken ships and I can't remember what it is. I wish I could, but it's that new way of thinking, right? You've put the old ways to rest. They're at the bottom of the sea, the bottom of your subconscious. Maybe it's time to bring them up and revisit them and figure out what new mental clarity you need to get from them. It could be new ideas. We talked about the new ideas thing. With it looking like an etheric cord to me, maybe you need to cut cords to the old way of thinking. Maybe you're tied to an old way of thinking. Maybe some truth that you have taken as your own that is not your own needs to be shed and let go of. we talked yesterday a lot about those ways that we were raised and those truths that we believe. And, excuse me, guys. Sorry, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. But we talked... Interesting. Throat chakra issues during the discussion of the way we were raised and the belief systems that we were given, that we chose at some point to take on as our own. And we did not, we've not yet, maybe we haven't ascertained whether or not those beliefs are truly ours. You know, we have to revisit each of these beliefs and question them and say, you know, is this something I truly believe? And it will result in a new way of thinking, right? Because you can decide if that new way of thinking or the old way of thinking is yours. You know, some of the things that you were raised with and taught will be yours. You know, that they'll make sense to you. Some will not. And it's okay, because you get to decide now. You have free will. You get to decide what's your belief system. So tell me about this Ace of Swords. Tell me about this Ace of Swords. Tell me about this Ace of Swords. Whoa, that is a lot of cards. Not today, guys. Not today. Sorry. One card for the Ace of Swords, please. One card for the Ace of Swords. One card for the Ace of Swords. One card. There we go. These cards are flipping weird today, aren't they? Or is it me? Tower in reverse. Averting disaster. This tower I do see as a disaster because it is... There's another card back there, but I don't want to look at it yet. I don't want it to influence this card. This tower literally is destruction. It's the destruction of a belief system. You know, when you start to question everything you believe, everything around you falls down. But when you question it of your own accord, the universe doesn't have to do it for you. It doesn't have to break your whole entire world down to show you that you get to build a new one. You start to build a new one on your own, and you avert this. You know, you avoid this. You are able to sidestep this, if you will. It is... it could be... It's very red. Very red. And paired with this, there is destruction. But maybe it's the fear. Maybe it's the fear that this will happen. You know, a lot of times the breakdown of old belief systems can be scary, right? Because now you don't know what's real. Now you have to question everything. And when you do question everything, it can be both exciting and scary all at the same time, because now what's real? Now you have to ask yourself. You know, when I first started this new therapy approach that I'm working with, I was scared to death because I started to realize everything I knew to be true and normal wasn't. And when your world gets turned upside down like that, it can be very unsettling, if you will. But you know, regardless of that fear of change, regardless of how scary it might be, you're pushing forward with that. You're pushing forward with the new way of thinking. You're pushing forward with questioning those old belief systems and deciding whether or not those are yours. And you're avoiding bigger disasters that way. Yes, it's going to change. Yes, it's scary, but it's not going to be thrust upon you because you're choosing it. And that's beautiful energy. From there, we've got Temperance, which is funny that I wouldn't even look. Because it's that the act of not looking, like that truly is temperance, right? Just tempering your emotions, not being so excited that you have to look. You know, when we were little, and my mom would put the Christmas presents out, you know, before Christmas, and it was absolutely torture to see those gifts and not know what was inside. And I'll be honest with you guys, we peaked. We absolutely did, and we got in trouble for it. Oh my gosh, let me tell you the fights that went on in my house over those damn Christmas presents. But, you know, needing to have that curiosity satiated, and acting on it, as opposed to just being patient and waiting to see on Christmas morning what those presents were. And actually, when we waited, it was more exciting. It was more fun. I actually learned that quite early on, and I'm very patient when it comes to gifts and surprises now. In fact, my daughter, on the other hand, is not, and she'll be really excited about a gift she gets me, and she'll tell me, oh, you have to wait for your birthday. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, don't you want to know now? I'm like, no, I can wait. And she's like, what? I have to tell you. So it gets very funny in that regard. But, temperance is it's balance, right? It's self-control. It's controlling your tempers. It's moderation. It's, I was looking at the tower and refused to look at this one. It's focusing on what you have in front of you instead of looking ahead. And I didn't want this card to influence that card. So, I mean, that act in and of itself is this card. And look at the magic between the two shells. Did you guys ever play that game where you had, I think it was a coffee can or a soda can or something like that, and you had a string between them, and you could hear, because the sound would travel through the string. And that's what I'm reminded of when I see this. It's like she's talking to herself, reminding herself to stay patient, to stay in control, to keep her eye on the prize. Yes, you have other things happening, but they don't need your focus right now. Right now, you need to focus on what's in front of you. I talked yesterday about my busy schedule. I do that a lot. In fact, I sent back a paper through the virtual writing center and attached the wrong attachment. And, my first initial thought was to beat myself up about it, but mistakes happen, guys. Mistakes happen. Forgive yourself for them. Move on about your day. Doesn't mean the whole world's coming to an end. I'm not going to get fired over this. But I will say my initial thought when I read that email was, oh my God, I can't do this job. Guys, it's my first paper. Of course I'm going to make a mistake. Of course. I've never done this before. Tempering my emotions about it. Not taking it personally. Not making assumptions. Doing my best. These are all the 4 agreements. We talk about the 4 agreements all the time. Keep those 4 agreements in mind, and you'll be able to temper. When you don't make assumptions, when you don't take things personally, when you always do your best, and when you don't gossip. I didn't pick up the phone right away to discuss it with 15 people and say, oh my God, check this out. Look at what happened, blah, blah, blah. Even if it's about myself. That's still gossip. You're still keeping the energy alive of whatever it is that you're trying to get past. So that gossip literally could be that cord that you need to cut, right? That urge to feed the fire, to keep it going. Temper that. Bring it back into your control. Self-control. Be here now, right? That's advice for that. Tell me about temperance. What is it we need to show some self-control about? Tell me about temperance. Tell me about the temperance card. Tell me about temperance. These cards are funny today. Oh, 2 of Pentacles. Hi, Alice in Wonderland with your white rabbit. I'm just noticing the fish at the bottom. Don't think I ever saw that one before. And the 2 kids looking in awe. So, balancing your resources, right? And decisions. Juggling your many responsibilities. And the rabbit's foot with the luck. But they're on land, or he's on land, I should say. Or is he? He looks to be on land, and they're in the water. So it's crossing over between 2 worlds. Maybe it's using the resources from 2 worlds. It's taking some things from your past that do serve you well, and keeping those and taking those with you, putting them in your toolbox, right? Your resource toolbox. And then also new ones. What are you understanding? Do you understand why you're holding this belief? Are you hearing this from above? Is it something that is for you or not? It's multitasking, weighing multiple options. What's the weight of the options in front of you? Decisions on your toolbox. So what are you going to put in your toolbox, and what are you going to take back to the store? Basically. And you can't add to a toolbox that's already filled. So maybe it's time to take inventory of that toolbox and make a decision on whether or not to keep the tool. Does it work for you or not? I was listening to a video this morning. They were talking about people who lie about their past, lie about their childhood to fit the narrative of who they want to be today. That's a tool. I mean, it's not a very ethical tool, but it is a tool to lie about the past to justify the present. Some people do that. It's their way of coping. I don't particularly think it's right. I think it's very unethical to not own your truth. And it's likely the very reason why they are where they are. Those type of people tend to go through relationships a lot. They go through a lot of relationships. They go through a lot of jobs. They go through a lot of friends. You know, people find out they're liars, and eventually these people fade out of their lives. But it is a survival technique for them, and it, in their mind, works. So what works for you may not work for the other person, but you might have different goals in mind. So, you know, if you're out for manipulation, then, and not the long term, you're not playing the long game, then, you know, lying is probably a good tool to have in your toolbox. Anyway, Wheel of Fortune in reverse, bad luck. Bad luck. Or just a change in luck. You know, maybe you've had bad luck and now it's turning good. But we create our own luck, guys. Always we create our own luck. Luck is nothing more than preparedness, meeting opportunity, and recognizing it, being present enough to recognize it. It's the wheel of karma turning, right? Things could feel a little bit out of control, but things have to balance back. You've got perfect control with out of control, and the Two of Pentacles balance in the middle. So maybe there's times that you do need to let your emotions fly, right? We talked yesterday about allowing your emotions to just be. Sometimes if things are too controlled, it can be jarring. And if they're too out of control, obviously jarring. So meet in the middle. I mean, the balance card, perfect balance card. You know, you've got divine, it looks like a boy and a girl. Girl on the left, boy on the right. The right side being your action side. When things are out of control, it's time to take action. You know, when things are tempered, that's when you can receive. That's when you receive your blessings. The law of give and take. You know, sometimes it's time to take, sometimes it's time to give. But balance it. Don't be always giving and don't be always taking. That's how you end up with not so strong boundaries and martyrdom and resentments and stop. And my dogs are going crazy right now and sneezing even. Sadie, quit biting her. Hi, Stella. I know. Sorry, guys. Oh, and dog's chasing her tail again. Like, you know what? Seriously, check this out. This is what we're dealing with. Like chaos. That literally is that Wheel of Fortune card. It's absolute chaos for my dogs right now. Stop. And it is mildly distracting from this reading. See how hard it is to come back to tempered. How hard it is to balance the chaos going on behind me with the temperance of this reading. Blocking out that noise. You're going to have chaos. There's going to be... Life happens, guys. Life happens. We can't just stop it because we're healing. We can't just say, okay, I'm tempering my emotions, so the rest of the world's going to temper too. No, probably not. Probably not. And energies, right? So the energy of chaos and the energy of temperance. Protect yourself from that. You know, understand some people absorb energy, some people project it. I'm not talking about typical psychological projection or empathic. I'm talking about actual energetic feelings. You know, people who are completely open and empathic and always have been their whole lives have no idea that they're feeling someone else's energy. They have no idea, you know. They walk into a room and they're instantly mad or they're instantly happy or they like being around certain people and they don't know why. Because they take on the energy, you know. And then There's people who project it. They walk into a room, and if they're mad, then suddenly the whole room is mad. If they walk into a room and they're sad, suddenly the whole room is sad. There has to be a balance. You have to keep your energy to yourself, reversal cards, and you have to stop. And you have to put your boundaries up, your energetic boundaries, to block that energy from coming in. There's times that you want to open that channel. Like now when I'm doing a reading, I open that channel, but then I close it. And by channel, I mean like the radio station, right? I'm tuning in, but then I'm going to shut the radio off when I'm done listening. I don't leave it on all night, forever. And then there's times that I never turn it on, It's just understanding that not everything you feel is maybe yours. We talked yesterday about this crying spell that I had. I'm pretty sure that was mine. But I do a lot to protect my energy. I do a lot to make sure that what I feel is mine and nobody else's. But it is a new environment. It is a safe environment. And I may have left a channel open. Who knows? I don't know. Still working through that, but we'll see. Anyway, balancing the chaos with the calm. The storm before the calm before the storm. It goes both ways. It can be, the camera just jarred. I was going to say, it can be jarring when you don't know which is coming next. The only thing you can count on, is the fact that it will change, right? Change is the only thing that's constant in our world. And you're going to have times of temperance. You're going to have times of chaos. I feel like this is saying today, be aware of both and decide what's yours. Decide what you want to take on. Decide which chords you're going to create. When you decide to take on someone's energy or to have a relationship with somebody or even think about somebody, you've created a chord. And the more you think about it, the stronger that chord gets, right? And it can get very strong. Or it can be very weak. Decide if you want the energetic chord, and if you don't, then cut it. You can cut it. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can take on a ritual, a big fancy ritual with cord cutting, and do all kinds of interesting things with that. Or you can, I like this one for myself. When I find myself thinking about things that I don't want to think about, or people that I don't want to think about, I will take my hand and I will chop right in front of my solar plexus and my sacral and my root chakra, all three chakras. And I'll just, kind of like off with their heads and sever the cord. And I tell myself, I'm severing this etheric cord. And it's not that either one of these rituals or things itself does the actual cord cutting. You're the magic, the name of the channel, Majik Mystic. You are the magic. You are the mystic. What's that line in Beetlejuice? Where she says, when she finally can see the ghosts, and she says, how come you can see us, nobody else can? And she said, because you're strange and unusual. And she says, I myself am strange and unusual. So she was on the frequency. She could see them. Nobody else could. But she was the magic. It wasn't the people. It wasn't what they were projecting. It wasn't the house. It was her. It was Lydia. So, the things that we do, the rituals that we take, the slicing in front of my chakras to break cords just reminds me to do it. It reminds my subconscious. It reminds my conscience. It's an action taken with an intention, which is all that's necessary, right? What did I say in the beginning? What is luck? Preparedness meets opportunity. It's intention meets action. Action meets intention. Like they go hand in hand. The law of giving and receiving. It has to be both, guys. You can't just sit on the couch and intend for the rest of your life, and you can't just go without any clear idea of where it is you're going to. So that balance, again, with the balance. Keep it balanced. There's going to be chaos. There's going to be temperance. Avert the disaster. Stay in the present. Be here now. Balance the energies. Balance your energies. And decide what cords you want to keep and what cords you don't. Because you have free will. Decide what belief systems you're going to keep and which you're not. Maybe you make up a new belief system. It doesn't matter. You have free will. It's your world. It is your world. It is up to you to create it. It's up to you what you believe. It's up to you what you don't believe. And it doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just for you. So remember that. You know, a lot of times on the channel I say, you know, this is what worked for me. This is how I do it. This is what my journey is. Maybe it helps you, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it shows you how you don't want to do it. Maybe you use some of the tools that I give you and you put them in your toolbox. Maybe some of them you throw away. Doesn't matter. The choice is yours. You have a world of opportunity in front of you. So keep that in mind, okay? I'm going to leave the tarot portion there. We'll get some advice from the Mermaid Oracle and get this show on the road. So, let me get the cards. Not the book, just the cards. Spirit, Source, God, Creator, Universe. Can I get some advice for today? Can I get some advice for today? Can I get some advice for today? Advice for today, please. Advice for today. Advice for today. There we go. Positivity. Love it. Love it. And very purple. Very crown chakra. Stay positive. You know, everything good and bad is there's positive to be gained in there. Be careful about toxic positivity, that you don't get so positive that you become toxic. Sometimes, you know, when you're talking to friends and whatnot and they just want to be sad, and that's okay. Toxic positivity statements would sound like, oh, just get over it. Oh, there's always a silver lining. Oh, just, you'll feel better in a few days. You have dismissed and invalidated their feelings. That's not okay, guys. But do stay positive. You know, stay with the positive energy. Project the positive energy and then meet them where they're at. Maybe the energy rubs off. We just talked about projecting and absorbing energies. Project the energy of positive, but meet them where they're at. Validate their feelings. Allow them to be where they're at. And it's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable to be around a person who is not feeling the best. And as healers, as fixers, as codependents, we want to make them feel better immediately because we can't handle the negative emotions. I mean, I kind of proved it yesterday with the crying story. It is next to impossible for me to handle that with any level of grace just yet. I have not yet learned that. I have not put that in my toolbox yet. But I'm staying positive about it. I'm not beating myself up about it. I'm tempering my emotions about it. They were a little chaotic yesterday. We're going to have these times, guys. And yes, stay positive about it. But remember that at times we need to feel it. We need to feel it. And that's a good thing. Understanding and learning how to feel your emotions is a good thing. Don't be the martyr. You know, gate 22, line 3. Don't be the martyr. Because the energy's there for that. Just keep your energy close. Understand what's yours and what's not yours. Sever those cords that you need to sever. Avert disaster and stay positive. All right, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Love you guys so, so much. We'll talk soon, probably tomorrow. Moving this weekend, so maybe not tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Either way, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful rest of your day. I trust it's unfolding beautifully. Much love and light. Hey guys, how's it going? Just watched a video. A couple little things. All the cards today, they flipped, but they didn't fall. So I kind of reflected on that for a minute, and I feel like what that is flipping. You know, things in your world are flipping around. When we start down this path of healing, we have to flip the card over, right, to see what is revealed. And it doesn't mean you have to fall. You know, we flip it over, we look at it, read it, it didn't fall on the floor, it didn't even fall on the table. We're getting stronger seeing those things is what I felt like that message was in that action, if you will. Even at one point I turned the camera so you could see the chaos of the dogs, right? So I flipped the camera. And then, you know, you guys hear my dogs in the background all the time, but you've never seen them. You know, we hear this chaos in our mind, and we have to turn around and look at it and see it for what it is. I feel like that was that message there. I talked about the owl. The owl turns its head 360 degrees like a circle, right? Things are going to circle back around. And when we're only looking in one direction, we don't see what's going on behind us. We can hear it, maybe we can smell it, taste it, whatever. Taste it, I don't know, weird. Some people have the gift of taste. I heard, what did I hear the other day? I think it was Steve's Love Tarot. Go figure. He was talking about, he's a human lie detector. He said it smells like roasting walnuts when somebody's lying. Some people have that gift. It's weird. Anyway, let's read about the owl, just because the book happens to be near me now, and we did talk about an owl today. Owl. Okay, my little ocean water that I got from Maine years and years ago, that I've had forever, just fell on the floor and did not break. Look at the chaos. And it's settling. Anyway, yeah, it was my bookend, and it didn't like that I took the book. Okay, meditate in silence and in darkness for a few minutes each evening for the next few days and see what is revealed to you. I've actually been doing that, guys. Normally it's funny because I said in the video, you know, I turn the channel off and I don't keep it going all night. And it was kind of a Freudian slip for me, because I usually keep, I have sleep headphones and I keep things going all night. And the last few days I have not. I had read somewhere that, or heard somewhere that the pure silence is where you'll get your answers. So I've been trying to do that. But anyway, the advice from Owl is to do that. So be alert to any deception on the part of others. Human lie detector I just mentioned, right? Whether they're aware of it or not, and look closely behind any guises that they may wear. Flip it around. Look behind them, right? This is a particular right period to tap into the fount of intuitive wisdom that's available to you. Quietly observe your environment, tempered. Watching and listening for signs and omens that will give you answers to any questions you may have. Now is a particularly significant time for prophecy, and you will see, hear, or feel events before they actually happen. We had the Tower in reverse, right? Averting disaster. Your most creative cycle now is the night, so set aside time in the evening to work on any projects. So I myself am more productive in the morning. I've learned that. I heard that somewhere, that you know, different people are productive at different times of the day. Some people are more productive at night, some people are more productive during the day. Right now, the energy is there to be more productive at night. So thank God for that, because I'm packing tonight to move tomorrow. What else did we see? The ship, the sinking ship. And I said there was an old saying about that. The saying, I looked it up, is like rats fleeing a sunken ship. So what that literally translates to is an abandonment when failure is imminent. If you see something is about to fail, do you abandon it, or do you just stay on the sinking and sink with the ship? When do you abandon ship? When do you decide to abandon that ship? That's all up to you. I mean, it's I guess the captain goes down with the ship, right? So it's unethical for him not to. So are you the captain, or are you the rat fleeing the ship? I guess that's for you to decide. And there's not a right answer or wrong answer. It's just your answer. At one point I said, I was talking about old belief systems, and I got a frog in my throat and I couldn't clear it. Throat chakra, old belief systems. You don't necessarily, you know, throat chakra is about your truth. It's about knowing what is your truth and speaking that truth. And it got blocked when I was talking about old belief systems. When you hang on to these old belief systems before you decide if they are yours, you will not be speaking your truth. You will need throat chakra clearing. A lot of cards fell on the table, and I said, not today. I don't know. I have a mask. We have to wear a mask in therapy because it's a not like a hospital. It's a health clinic, whatever. Anyway, they still have a mask mandate. My mask says not today, which I think is funny because I said not today. you know, the chaos of too many cards. And I said, no, not today. And I put them back, and it was okay. You know, if things get too chaotic, guys, and you just withdraw and retreat, that's okay. Not today, right? I talked about not playing the long game, and that, you know, people who are playing the long game, or not playing the long game rather, for them, lying is good. At that point, the cards kind of tipped forward a little bit, and then they flipped back. And then I said, we got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and instantly I said, bad luck. As I further explained, talking about reading the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it didn't end up being bad luck. So I feel like what that was saying real quick was, if you're going to take on that lying into your toolbox, that's going to bring bad luck. You know, opportunity meets preparedness. If you're prepared to lie, the opportunity of bad luck may be upon you. The wheel of karma turning, you know, again, turning, flipping, looking behind you, things turning. It was jarring. I don't know why I wrote jarring. Okay. Always giving and taking. When I said that, don't be always giving, don't be always taking. At that point, the dogs got really, really chaotic, to the point where I even said stop twice. Now it's funny because it's not like they're going to listen to me. You know, I tried to create a jarring sound for them, stop, to calm the energy, right? And it's funny because I think stop is an acronym for an emotional regulation technique. I can't remember it off the top of my head at this point, but it is. Go look that up. And then I think tip is too. Interesting. Anyway, as I started to explain how energy works, you know, empaths and projectors and whatnot, and actually there's a human design gate or type, I guess. I don't know. I'm still learning about the human design charts, but my friend Sarah's real good at it, and she called me yesterday and she was like, remember, you're a projector, you're a manifestor. There's different generators, and their energy works in different ways, you know. So like, I think a manifestor is the one that absorbs everybody's energy, and Sarah, I'm sorry if I'm getting this wrong, and a generator is one who projects, I think. Anyway, go look those up. But it was at that point when I was explaining those that the dogs finally stopped, and they're calm, right? Probably because I blocked. I said, you know, energetically focused back on the reading and removed my energy. You know, and maybe it was my energy. I was talking about chaos when they decided to get chaotic. And then when I started talking about how energy works and bringing my energy down a notch, if you will, the dogs calmed down. The other thing I said was it goes both ways, and then the camera jumped. So it does go both ways. Energy does go both ways. We both project and we both feel it, absorb it. That's the word I'm looking for, absorb. So projecting and absorbing, the law of giving and receiving. The law of giving and receiving works for everything. It works for money. It works for energy. You know, money is nothing more than an energetic resource. Time. You know, you give time, you take time. Energy, give time, give energy, take energy. Money, you give money, take money. All of your resources. Think about the pentacles and what they are. I say they're never money. They're just resources. So think about that. The other thing I said, there's a world of opportunity out there for you. So again, with the world. So the world card is the end of a cycle. The opportunity to end your cycle is near, is what I feel like that's saying. Even though we didn't get the world card, the word came about. And then the last thing I want to do, I talked about the name of the channel. I don't know that I often ever say the name of the channel. Weird. Majik Mystic. And I do spell it with a J and a K, just because. Just kidding. I don't know, JK. Instead of a G and a C. I don't know. It's just because I like to be different. Strange and unusual. I myself am strange and unusual. Lydia Dietz was the one that said that. And you're going to laugh when I read you the definition for mystic. Because I actually had to look this up once upon a time because I'm like, what is a mystic? I mean, seriously, like, what is that? And it is a person who sees by contemplation and self-surrender to obtain unity or absorption into the deity, Dietz, and believes in spiritual truths beyond reality. You know, if that is you, my friends, then you are a mystic. It's not a special gift. It's a state of mind. And when you do that, you create magic in your world. You know, things appear magic. I didn't say that right. Things in your life will appear as if they got there by magic. I think I said that right. It's magical. You know, think about fairy tales and whatnot. They're magical. The happily ever afters, magic. Snow White waking up from a was it just car alarm outside? That was weird. Sounded like it could have been where my car is, but I don't think it was my car. Anyway, yeah, Snow White waking up from a sleeping curse by the true love's kiss. You know, that's magic. We want to believe in magic. Who doesn't want to believe in magic? But the fact is that you are the magic. Magic Mystic. The person that believes in it is the magic. You know, I talked about that in the reading where, you know, it doesn't matter what ritual you take. It's your intention gives it its magic in the ritual. So there's that. And I don't think we had any numbers today. No, we didn't. But we did have 3 names. We had Alice from Alice in Wonderland. She made an appearance again today. Lydia, Stella, and Sadie. My dog's names. But I don't often say their names in the readings. Usually I just talk about the dogs. But so I don't know if those names mean anything to you. Stella and Sadie, oddly enough, were named after Grateful Dead songs. Stella Blue and Little Sadie. So maybe some Grateful Dead music in there for you today. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, that's the reading of the reading. I don't know why my words are escaping me. It's Friday. I'm tired. I slept late. I needed to. And now I'm off to do some homework. So, all right, guys, I'm going to leave it there because I'm babbling again. So you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk probably tomorrow. Maybe, maybe not. I think I said that in the reading too. And talked about surprises and just be here now. Don't worry about tomorrow's reading till tomorrow. If I do it, I do it. If I don't, well, I'll probably put something up anyway. All right, guys, I love you so, so much. Much love and light.